Welcome back. It's time for Talk Time. Well, the Nigerian entertainment industry has grown tremendously in the last decade and a half. The movie industry is currently estimated to bring in more than 100 billion naira in annual revenue. Well, the music industry has also grown as well, with Nigerian artists now collaborating with their colleagues in other parts of the country, other parts of the world as well. But there is a snag: piracy. Widespread piracy is undermining the growth of Nigeria's creative sector that extends to publishing, computer software and media broadcasting. It is common for intellectual property rights owners to suffer huge losses in revenue on every project. With me to discuss the impact of piracy and how to curb it is Mark Otabo, also known as Mark the Soldier, the voice behind Continental Drive on Radio Continental, of course, 102.3 FM. Thank you for joining me in the studio this time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, a big challenge to the Nigerian entertainment industry is piracy, almost as old as time in the country.
Definitely. You see, it's a virus that has come to stay in a way. I don't want to be too optimistic here. We have to be very realistic in a case like this. You know, when you have a situation where people work, but other people reap from what other people do, it becomes a situation where people begin to feel, uncomfortable, especially in the environment. Now, when you actually duplicate someone else's work, it's so bad that those who do it do not know the gravity of the implication of what they're doing. Now, the person involved who actually owns this work, puts in a whole lot of energy into it, tries day and night creativity. And there's something about creativity. It comes like a snap. Sometimes, exactly. Sometimes, like singers will tell you, if they actually sit down to, get inspiration about a song, if they don't have a recorder with them or they don't have a pen to write something down, that song could escape and you will never find that inspiration again. So it comes once a while. So when you have that kind of, you have that kind of talent and you're able to register to put yourself in that gap, it can be so bad at the end of the day, you're not even reaping it. So that's how bad it is. When you are, you're in a situation where, and the battle is back and forth now, and people are actually clamoring to, for the government to step in and stop it, but it doesn't look likely at the moment.
Why not likely at the moment? That it's going to be tough for the government to fight it, or it's just that it's become so endemic and these people, really, the pirates in the country, are so powerful that they've become untouchables? It
is going to be really tough because we're looking at a sector that has become a cabal now. They have a chain they work with. No matter how you actually try to put these things in place, you discover that the bad eggs are still there. Now, people have been clamoring. If the government is coming down on the health sector, the bad eggs in the health sector, the banking sector, what about the entertainment industry? Now, when you look at the artist, let's look at the personality of the artist. The artist will not, at some point in time, feel that the piracy is going to be a hit on them because they want that popularity. They want to be out there. So it's going to be difficult for them to also want to join the voice to say, stop piracy. An artist who is not known, who has a piece out there, wants to be popular. Now we have the social media that is even worse, because on the social media you have the free way to download whatever you want to download. You have the materials with you.
Yeah, the internet really
exactly. So you find an artist who actually has a song and he wants people to know him or know her, and you're talking about piracy. Come on. He wants to be known. That's his priority at that moment. And you discover that a lot of these artists too, they enjoy it when you download their songs. You see, over 1,000 people downloaded my song today, meaning the song is good. Now other people start buying into it. So by the time they make an album, you want to go buy that album. But even when it's time to make that album happen, you see them telling you stuff like, we're not making money through album sales because we don't have the correct data.
Usually through shows.
Yes, through shows, you have endorsements, and that is actually where they get their benefits from. But if it's sales of albums, trust me, it is not in the picture.
Just to be popular.
Yes.
But interestingly, really, if you talk to some of these people and they sit down to really talk to you about this problem, it's not that they enjoy having their music being downloaded for free or having their work being pirated by these people, but because that they say they don't have a choice. I've heard of situations whereby popular musicians, that you'd be surprised, have gone to pirates to tell them to do this, to put their jobs out there. Just, I know you're going to do it anyway, even if I don't tell you, so just give me something off it. Definitely. So at least let me make the profit from you. Then you have the right to buy my work and you sell it into the market. It's that bad right now in the country.
Really bad. Now, I'll take a quick cue from Raskimono. I watched one of his shows on this same piracy issue, and he said what baffles him is the fact that he is popular in some countries he's never been to, and he really breaks his heart. Though he's happy, they know me in this country, but he said he has never stepped his foot into that country, but they know his music, they sing along with his music, they enjoy what he does, and he's like, come on, this cannot continue. But this is something that has been here from time immemorial. And you discover that now we have it exposed. Alaba market is said to be the largest, the hub of it in West Africa, the largest, so to say. Now you have such a market exposed, and you're trying to fight piracy. And how do you equate it? How do you equate it? Piracy in developed countries, if you're caught, you face the music of the day. It is terrible to actually, create someone else's work. Terrible. Now, I'll tell you quickly. Beyonce and Jay-Z had this Drunken Love single that actually went viral, and everybody loved the song. But you won't believe, a Hungarian singer actually sued them and said they actually, they signposted her piece on that track from her 1995 song. Her name is actually Mitsu. She sued them for copyright and said they didn't come to take permission before they actually used her piece on their song. Of course, I know, Beyonce is a big brand. Definitely. If it had gone out of proportion, it would have been really difficult for her to curtail it. I think they actually went behind closed doors to settle this issue. It's that bad. Now, that is in developed countries where the law is active. Now, come back to Nigeria. Which laws are actually put up to actually curb these things? Because I was going through a few of the laws. I think the highest fine I saw there was 100,000 naira and 12 months behind bars, depending on the gravity of the offense of the copyright intellectual property that is involved. So you can imagine. Now, if you have that and you have to bail someone out for 100 grand or go to 5 years in prison or go to 12 months in prison, which of them would you quickly adhere to? Of course, you will pay the money and the person is out. And once that person is out, he goes back to the business. There is no, there is no strict measure put in place to discourage whoever is going into piracy to further continue. Now, you have Oscar Pistorius. Quickly, let's just divert a bit, digress a bit. He murdered River Stinkham, and he went viral, and that particular trial was, televised all over the world. Now, if you have piracy coming to that form too, maybe I think these guys would start to realize that this thing is a serious business. But before you even put that in place, if you say the government is not actually doing something about it, what about the economy? Things are not tidy. We have an economy where people are barely trying to survive.
Well, most Nigerians really are living below $1 per day to survive every day. Really. We'll talk more about this. Apologies. Let's go for this little break. Take this vox pop about piracy, where we asked people, really, TVC Breakfast show asked people how they get their music, and of course they said something about it.
Well, I download music through Bluetooth. At times I do download from system. At times or through Bluetooth sometimes.
Basically, I prefer to buy.
I get my music from Piracy and other downloading sites.
Radios and I like radios as it.
Sometimes I used to buy some CD in the shop whereby they used to sell it. To me personally, I'm an engineer, so I don't use fancy phone. You understand? So my phone, although it's using memory card, but to me, I didn't like to be hearing music on the way.
I put my music through Opera Mini. So when I download the music, it works easily and it is very clear and very sound. So I like downloading my music through internet.
I do buy my music on cassette. I do play on CD at home. Yeah, that's what I do.
At times I download, at times through Bluetooth. That's the medium.
The medium I use in getting my music
I get my CD, I bought it from the market. Then from there, I insert it on my CD play. Then that's all.
I actually got my music in different ways. But I get it through download from the internet. I also get through Bluetooth from friends. Because like me now, I like blues and Afro, especially all those fella. And I just go to the site. There's some site I actually go to. I just go there and download the blues.
Last week, movie producers and marketers engaged one of their own and now a Lagos lawmaker, Desmond Elliott, and other legislators.
Better enabling environment.
This time, it's the Nigerian actors and actresses visiting the Lagos State House of Assembly. And they seem to have one common enemy, piracy.
The headquarters of piracy in this country, we all know, is Alaba. But I know, being a business center located within Lagos, right, I know it contributes a lot to the state's economy. But within that place is where we have our main problem.
I believe the industry is one that has contributed so much to the economic growth of the country, but has received so little.
The piracy thing is one separate, but there are so many things that accounted for even our inability to fight piracy at the right time. We want government participation in the continuous development of the industry.
They are now calling on the state government to join them in waging a war against the pirates, many of whom they believe have their roots at the Alaba International Market.
A well-paid, emphasis on well-paid task force should be established. At regular intervals, unannounced, they should come and sweep through the whole state and just, and then a bill should also be passed whereby both the person that sells and buys pirated movies serves prison sentences or have high amounts of money to pay before they are released.
If one scapegoat is caught, it affects, it's like a chain reaction. If you put very simple laws in place and somebody can come and bail himself out with ease, then he gets away with it still. And we're still back in the same circle.
They want a place of their own where their films can be sold. They also want more neighborhood-friendly cinemas across the state.
First of all, we're talking about the film village. We have a land, they can subsidize the land for us. We build it, let them not build, let them not bring the money. Because once you mention money, the government will take off. Subsidize the land, give us a lot of land. We have lands in Lagos State using as estate and all that. It can be turned out to become film villages.
After all said and done, the lawmakers resolved that a committee would be set up that would look into every suggestion made. These practitioners believe the meeting would yield the much-desired dividends, especially now that they have a voice in the State House of Assembly. Abimbola Agbibi, TVC News, Lagos.
Well, piracy really has permeated every sphere and, of course, corner in the Nigerian entertainment industry. Both the movie and music, even intellectual work as well, could be pirated. Well, I have joining me now the chairman of the board of the Copyright Society of Nigeria, COSON, Mr. Tony Okoroji. Thank you for joining us at this time.
Thank you, Azizat.
Of course, Mark the Soldier is still with me in the studio as well to talk more about it. All right, now, it was really a totally different story for Nigerian musicians before COSON came to being. So how has it been so far?
There are changes. One must say there are changes, but we need more changes. And I do believe very strongly that at a time like this, when it's become clear that the era of crude oil at $100 a barrel is gone and will not come back, right? The Nigerian nation, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Buhari, has a duty to start an intellectual property revolution in our country so that we can begin to drill the oil of our intellect. because that's what's going to make us a great nation going forward, you know. Because we had oil in the ground, which we didn't drill, right? It was white people who came here, drilled the oil, sold the oil, we collected the money, and we went mad as a people. You know, I can say we raped our own nation as if it was a conquered nation, you know, the kind of madness that's gone on. This is the time to stop and give Nigerian young people a chance. And this is an area where we have incredible comparative advantage. Our young people can make great music. It's been proven. In demand everywhere in the world. Our young people can make great movies, proven, in demand everywhere in the world. You know, our young people can write great literature. They can make great programs, you know, right? We need to now set the environment so that we end this atmosphere of monkey the walk, baboon the chop. You know, Nigeria can move ahead. And, you know, the President Buhari has somebody in the vice president, you know, Professor Shibanjo, who understands these issues. This is the time to stop talking and start working. You know, I listened to I saw the clips that you know presented. Nigerian laws must be made to work regardless of whose ox is God. And COSON has set the tone. In the last 5 years that COSON has been set up, we've gone to court over 50 times. We've sued major banks, we've sued governments, we've sued everybody. We've gone to court against broadcast stations and all that to say, look, you cannot continue to take the property of the minds of people and use this property without giving them the right remuneration. Once you do that, what you are doing is you are destroying jobs, you are destroying investments, you are destroying a huge economy that can employ hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. The time to stop is now.
All right, Mark, let me come back to you. Yeah. Piracy really has rendered so many talented artists in Nigeria and the music industry, especially in movie in the country, bankrupt that they've not even recovered. The popular Baba Saladen, I'm sure many people of the Yoruba race will remember him, a very popular movie producer of comedy series then. He was preparing to do the premiere of a particular movie at that time that had enjoyed so many rave. He was about to release it into the market, only for Pirates to release it, and the man has not recovered. I hear that his man is barely surviving. He has health problems because of that particular incident, and he has not recovered. AY is another one, the latest one really of his movie that has enjoyed international rave reviews, really. So it seems that these Pirates, like I said earlier, somehow have become, like you said as well, that it's not a cabal, really. They become so untouchable.
See, apart from it being a cabal, it's like almost everyone is involved in it. Now, AY made an allegation. He actually launched it out, and it was becoming really clear that this movie that enjoyed a lot of appreciation is beginning to go down the drain because piracy has stepped into the matter. But guess what these pirate guys responded via social media? They said, look, search within your own house. You can't come and accuse. We didn't come to your house to pick it up. Search within your camp. Someone sold it. There's someone in there that you're not looking at. You shouldn't blame us for doing this.
You know, this is almost like the war against corruption thing. You know, where everybody's pointing fingers at everybody. Look, I don't care who the person is. If you have broken the law, pay the price. Whether someone else somewhere has done something wrong or not,
doesn't justify
it doesn't justify you doing that, which is
it doesn't justify. But you wouldn't take the fact away that the system has to be tidy for this particular law to be active. We have a government that is not even interested in entertainment at a point in time. People were clamoring for them to come into the picture.
No,
it is during
you know, the government needs to be interested right now because the government has no choice.
Exactly, that's what we're saying. They need
as
to be
long as you have, as long as you had oil,
as
long as you had oil selling for $100 and whatever a barrel, and there was easy money coming from there. We're going to fight over. You know what's happening in our country for a while, and that's interesting. Each time we had a discussion, you know, the discussion was about how to share. What's my own part? I've been marginalized. I'm not sharing. We never had a discussion about how to do. how to produce anything. It is always about who is getting more. You can't build a nation based on sharing. All of us must get out there and produce, right? We created a nation where people are afraid to work. People want jobs, but they really don't want to do any work. They want to collect money, but not do any work. We must create a nation where people want to do. And the issue you have raised about piracy and how people are being to deal with, the courts must be more efficient. Copyright, I read copyright, I teach copyright. I know it's a complex subject,
very.
Right? There are few judges who understand it, and those judges must be kept to, but you know what happens? They get, transferred everywhere. So you have a new judge who comes on who doesn't understand the subject or the scope of the matter. And then you take a matter to him, and of course what happens, there are adjourns and adjourns and adjourns and adjourns. Now, some people have said set up special courts. I wouldn't go to the extent of setting up special courts. Piracy is on the exclusive legislative list. It's a federal government matter, not a state matter, right?
That's how sensitive it is.
Yeah, that's how sensitive. It's a federal matter. But at the Federal High Court, you can appoint judges who understand these issues and keep them so that these things can go faster. But beyond what can be done on the criminal level, I'm calling on all the interested parties, the stakeholders. You must stand up and fight for your rights. Nobody's going to fight for your rights for you. You must stand up, set up strong lobbies. In a democracy, you need strong lobbies that can change things. Before now, I couldn't come to this station and say, TVC, please, where is your license for the music you use? But today, it is the rule. Every broadcast station in Nigeria is doing that. And we had to go to court. We had to go to the National Assembly. We had to go everywhere. We had to become unpopular to get it done.
All right, let me ask you. I recall when you were about to start Colson, I was opportune to be there when you had the meeting with the musical artist in Ikeja. That's, I think, 2009, 2010. I can't recall the particular period, but that was when you had these people come together. And I recall some popular musicians there were saying, they were saying that they were somehow afraid that this could not favor them. The fear of the unknown was so explicit in their expression, really, that you were trying to allay their fears. And that's the situation right here. I was talking to Mark about it before you came in, that some musical artists, or even, we know a popular one, really, that even will have to go to pirates to be the ones to produce their music. Just tell them to pay me something. Be the one, because I know you will still pirate my music, so let me just something off it before you do so.
No, that's a huge problem that Nigeria has come to, where we have lost faith in ourselves, in our abilities. God, we can change the situation from the way it is. I believe it. In between that time and now, Kosan probably would have collected more than maybe 600 million naira from broadcast stations. People said it was impossible, that it will never happen in Nigeria, that people are using music for free for so long that nobody could ever do it. But it's happened, and that's the same way I feel. People say, look, President Buhari can never deal with the corruption issue in Nigeria. There are too many unbelievers. All those unbelievers will have to start believing, right? Because we can indeed straighten out this country. I was listening to some of the people, you asked there, where do you get your music from? People say, well, I download, I do this, I copy and all that. Sweetheart, there is a law that has been in our books for 23 years, saying that if you download or you use a writable CD or you use a flash drive or whatever to copy music, right? There is a certain levy that will be placed on that material that you use, and the money is collected and passed through the appropriate channels. Yes, the proper channels to the owners of the works, right? It's called a private copy levy. 23 years in our books, But
it's not been implemented.
It has not been implemented. During the last regime, we did everything. Instead of government giving money away to people in the creative community, which happened a lot during the last regime and got people very, very politicized, right? Implement the law so that the people can get their own money and have some respect. And all it needs to implement this law is just somebody's signature, somebody's directive to the customs. It's law already in Nigeria. You know, the order which the Attorney General was supposed to promulgate, the order has been made. Somebody just tell the customs, implement this. And it can be done tomorrow morning. And a lot of this nonsense will stop. The people will get their own money, they'll have dignity, and they don't have to be running around government begging for money. What does it take? You know, I say we should stop talking. Let's start doing.
Okay, so Mark, it seems that people don't even know that somehow they are pirates as well. Like Mr. Okoro just pointed out, we talk about professional pirates every time, those who make huge money from it. But people, everyday people don't know somehow that they are pirates too.
You see, that's why the system has to be sanitized. And how do you do that? You have to create orientation. You have to create, you know, classes for people to be educated. If you're not educated about a particular subject matter, there's a tendency for you to stray. Now, we have internet free to air to everyone these days. You have an Android phone. The moment you're connected, you're online, and you're good to go. That's just the problem. The youth of nowadays, you discover that, you know, when you have a piece out there, your song has to trend on Twitter for people to know that song is indeed a hit. Even there was a particular song recently by one Vico. The song was not a good song, but it was trending on Twitter. And someone says, kudos
in your opinion.
Kudos to the social media team that actually made this happen. That is what it has come to be. The social media also has not contributed well to this situation. Even if you're trying to curb this piracy thing, what about the social media? Because on the social media, people still download foreign songs.
Indeed. Hollywood is a victim of that, especially the Hollywood movies.
And stuff like that. Konya Falana recently was very bitter. He actually lashed out at a particular people that are actually involved in it. Now, this is Nigeria. Even if you want to tackle this issue, tribal sentiments will still rise. Because we have a particular, we have a particular ethnic, you know, that people dominantly feel that they are actually doing this. But when you go deep and try to, you know, hook up on them, people start to talk again. Is it that you want to take food away from our mouth and stuff like that, and sentiments will rise?
Which is why I'm happy that we have the kind of leader we have now, who is for everybody and for nobody.
Indeed.
Right? Okay. I mean, what is good is good. What is bad is bad.
Definitely.
I haven't seen any special markets for Igbos or Yorubas or Hausas. We all go to the same market. And pay the same price. You know, all this ethnicism and religion, we need to put where they belong.
Definitely.
And face our problems and deal with our problems. I've gone to court as a chairman of COSUN against people who are friends of mine, who will not listen on the issue of copyright infringement. We will take them to court. We'll resolve the matter and we'll shake hands and embrace ourselves when the matter is resolved.
Well, they say that there's no way you can ever be friends after you go to court.
No. We've proved that you can be friends after you go to court. You know, sometimes, you know, I've had situations where, yes, the matters were not taken seriously until you went to court. You know, and then people now call in the midnight, in the middle of the night and say, why did you do this? But you have had opportunities to do the right thing over a long period, and you refused. You know, in most cases, yes, the matters are settled, you know, thereafter, because the courts work. You know, I want to tell Nigerians watching this, our courts work. But sometimes they're complicated.
Yes, but you signposted the problem earlier that moving. All
right, Mark, apologies. Before you continue, let's quickly pick Ogaba's call. Good morning to you, Ogaba. You're calling from Benue. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning, Azizat, and morning to Tony and Mark in the studio.
Good morning.
I believe that when you remove creativity from our system, everything crumbles. And why we are suffering in Nigeria today is because we are not paying attention to creative materials. You can imagine I had a problem with the 58th anniversary, where the former minister, the late Professor Brian Akunyili, advertised for through a public bid for us to design the anniversary logo of the 50 years of Nigeria celebration. And my work was copied by those who were supposed to would not attempt to do so to encourage us to be creative. And I wrote to all of it, secretary to the government of the federation, the minister, even Emeka Eze, who is I met Emeka Eze, who is the head of the public procurement. He asked me to write, I wrote. He never replied me. So, you see, we can't be doing this to ourselves. Everybody, no, so people, I mean, a sector cannot claim to be more important than the other. Everything has to be synchronized. If not, we can never get it right. Thank you very much, Tony. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, Ogaba.
Let me say that Dr. Oba.
Ogaba.
Okay, Maxwell Oba.
No, Ogaba.
Ogaba, okay.
Yeah.
Did say, put it correctly, without creativity, everything crumbles. Yeah. We look around here, all the beautiful things we have, the houses and all that, the cars, the technology, are all products of creativity. Yeah. A nation that does not accord creativity its right place will never grow. Definitely. It's pure and simple. Nigerians must understand that. It starts from the brain. Everything starts from the brain. We must begin to respect intellect. I look at scholarship. We don't respect scholarship anymore. You know, right? We don't respect scholarship. You can't grow if you don't respect scholarship. You don't respect the intellectual, you know. What I found wrong with the last government, I would say so, and why I could not support the last government was that I found that the last government didn't respect intellect and scholarship. Intellect and scholarship is at the foundation of the progress of every nation. You know, with a Professor Osubanja repeats in government right now, you know, we must retool Nigeria so that people who are intelligent, people who are creative, people who are given a pride of place. That Nigeria is not a nation where you respect people who have stolen bags and bags of money.
Indeed. All right, let's quick. Samuel's call is calling from London, one of our Nigerians in the diaspora. Good morning to you, Samuel.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. Yeah. You see, what government should do on this issue is to put a law in place whereby all these pirates, if they've been caught, it's either they go to maybe 5-10 years imprisonment, or they pay a fine that they cannot even pay for the rest of their lives, because it's very unfair to take advantage of somebody who had sleepless nights to work on something, and at the end of the day, one person sitting at the corner pirating his job. Because some of these actors and actors and others, they spend a lot of their time. Some of them don't even have proper sleep just to get a good product for their customers. So I think what government should do is to make sure that some of our laws are amended to the extent that all these pirates will be discouraged very well, because they will know the implication of getting involved in pirates for 1 year's work. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Samuel. Now, Mark, what Samuel just said was the same thing Lizzie Anjorin, an actress in Nigeria, said last week, really. I think it was last week Friday, yeah. Indeed. She said she produced a movie, quite popular, a Yoruba movie, that she invested over ₦1 million, but sadly she didn't make up to 1,000 naira profit on it because of this same problem we're calling piracy, that the government just has to do something about it.
Well, Mr. Tony here has actually said it all. If the government do not do something about it now, we'll begin to see an economy that is not balanced. We have people who don't even have jobs, but lots of them have decided to fall back to their talents, to make ways for them. It's going to be really terrible if at the end of the day, I don't have a job and I can sing. I have a good voice.
I can't even feed off your talent.
I can write songs, and I cannot even, you know, enjoy my creativity. The Asian script reveals that the gift of a man makes a way for him, but it doesn't seem like it's working in this environment, which is why I think it should be effected. The moment the right infrastructures are in place, I believe these people doing these things, by the time they see piracy as same person carrying drugs, okay, you know, when you carry drugs, it's a very terrible offense. The NDLEA comes very hard on you. By the time piracy begins to see themselves as such, I think it will be curbed, because they know it's a criminal offense. People will announce it. It's going to be on the headlines. Your name is going to be out there. Your picture is going to be on television.
Name and shame.
You know,
like
by the time it begins to come to that point, I tell you, things will begin to take shape.
Okay, do you think the name and shame will work? Because I know that during the time I said I was at the Coastal meeting, I was part of a particular project then. We were trying to sell anti-piracy CDs to the entertainment industry in Nigeria. And then some of your people really told us that, see, this is not going to sell in this country if you do not carry the pirates along, that you need to go to Edo State, that there's a popular pirate there, and you have to carry him along for this to sell.
No, I do not agree. You know, I do not agree that we can't change things.
All right, before you answer the questions, apologies. We have a caller, Daniel. It seems he's been holding on for a while. Apologies. Go ahead now with your contribution, Daniel.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Daniel.
Yeah, so I just want to ask you people, because I've been always following this your program, but I just want to ask, is government itself listening to this all this program you always be doing? Because it is not wise that every time you people will be giving a very sensitive ideas, and after this program it will just vanish away. I wish if there's a way that even President Buhari or those people in the house should know that this is what you people have been doing, because I always follow this your program. You've been bringing people that have a very good sense, and they have been talking on issues that are very good to Nigerians. But how is it going to those people who can put this thing into law? This is just what I want to contribute this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, through people like you, you have to make it trend now that the social media is very active. And of course, Nigerians are the most powerful people. You have the power. You are more powerful than the government, so you have to let the government know when you want something done. It's no longer time for you to be placid about any issue. There are ways you can go about it, just like Mr. Okoroji is doing with Koson for the musicians in the country.
Now, I'm just saying that this problem is even bigger than we've seen it. I travel around Africa, and I go to Ghana. The most popular music in Ghana is music from Nigeria. Yeah. The most popular music in Kenya is music from Nigeria. The most popular music in much of South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Angola, Nigerian music.
They're really doing us proud, really. They dominated the awards in
But
Ghana.
the problem is that much of the music is pirated.
Yes, of course.
Much of the movies is pirated. I went to Liberia and I saw, you know, truckloads of Nigerian movies and Nigerian music. I saw warehouses filled up. And I say, if this was Nigerian oil that was being siphoned like this, free of charge, the Nigerian government would have gone to war.
But they siphoned our oil free of charge.
No, but, you know, we make issues of it.
Exactly.
You know, we have serious trade issues with our neighbors, and we need to raise it to the level where it ought to be, because this is Nigerian money, Nigerian intellect that is being flushed away all over the place. Our government needs to know and needs to set up the right infrastructure to be able to deal with these issues at the level, you know, at which. But if you're not protecting the works at home, and everybody else sees that you don't value the works at home, so they don't value it. In any case, we are losing billions and billions and billions every day of the intellect of our young people, and it is a crying shame.
So are there efforts by Koson, especially now, to try and maybe meet with the new government in place? Because it's like a fresh opportunity to start all over again to make things work in the entertainment industry.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. When, there's one of the gentlemen who called said, we talk and we keep quiet. The people who know us know that we don't talk and keep quiet. We do something about it. And I think the environment is there. Circumstances have forced the Nigerian nation to begin to think again, because there is no free money anywhere anymore. We need to be creative and produce the money for our children, or they, you know, will be worse than Greece. You know, yeah.
So, excuse me. So there are efforts really to meet the
oh yes, absolutely. I mean, coming here is part of that engagement. They need to know it's a democracy, right? If you do not do the right things, we will not vote for you. You know, because they're going to come around in a few years and say vote for us, and we're going to check what did you do for us the last time you were there.
All right.
You know?
And it seems that even we media people are victims of piracy somehow as well. Mark, somehow you say maybe a catchphrase of yours or something, or your name, like Mark the Soldier, could be stolen. There was a case like that a while ago in the country where someone, an African really sued a Nigerian, a very popular OAP on radio, that he stole his stage name. But we'll talk more about it. Apologies. Let's speak Philip's call. It's calling from Benin Republic as well, just like Daniel did. Good morning to you, Philip.
Good morning.
Go ahead with your contribution. Please go ahead. I can barely hear you, though. Philip? He's listening. Well, apologize. I think I will have to end the call because of the long distance range. Please call back. You can step away from your TV set, reduce the volume first of all, step away from it and call back so we can hear you. And then you can pose your question to Mr. Tony Okoroji. So really, piracy is not just in the sense of it. Yeah. There is plagiarism as well. You know, you can steal a particular material from something verbatim. So like that. So it comes in different forms that...
Yes.
Like, people don't even know that what they are doing really could be wrong. Like, okay, I like the name Mark the Soldier. Okay, I'm a student. I'm going back to school. We have a new radio station in our school. I could just post the name as well. Mark the Soldier.
Let them try it.
Let me give you an example of how we do not understand creativity. Look, you know, if you are a fashion designer, a tailor, and all that, and you make some really nice clothes now, everybody likes it. You know what Nigerians will do? Everybody will take it and go and copy it.
Their tailor.
Yeah, go and give it to their tailor and copy it. Elsewhere in the world, you can't do that. You know, that design belongs to somebody. That's how you have built all the great designers of what that you know. You know, and the person who has created that style ought to benefit from the style that the person has created. You don't do you are not doing the person a favor and say, look, I bet let me go and give my...
Even Nigerians, popular Nigerians have done that to those popular designers across the world.
We need to retool
posing on the red carpet with popular designs that are looking like knockoffs, really.
We need to retool our thinking. You build a house, you know, which is a beautiful house. Somebody says, your house is fine. No, I'm going to go and get my guy to do exactly the same. But that's a work of architecture.
Definitely.
The architect has copyright in his design. You ought not to go out and build a house. Yes. The guy has used his brain to create it. If you want to build a house, please go and consult the guy and get his permission and pay him something for his design. Yeah. That's how an economy runs. You know. But here the guy, somebody will just take the photographs and give the distance to someone and say, please, I like the house, beautiful for me.
Exactly, just like the case Ogaba made. We don't know how true it is, but that was exactly what he said. You give some, and it happens every day. That particular incident happened every day to many Nigerians. Nigerians that don't have control. You give something to someone you think would want to help you in a higher office. You'll be surprised that same person will be the one to pose your job as his own
with
the government.
But let's speak property economy.
Indeed, Musa's call. It's calling from Nasarawa. Good morning to you, Musa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead with your comments.
First and foremost, I would like to appreciate your effort in educating, highlighting, and other informing Nigerians on daily activities of the country, both politically and other social-wise.
Thank you.
And also, I would like to comment on the caller that called before the last caller, whom he adduced his thought on say he hoped the Nigerian elite, the government, are also watching and listening to the program. Precisely, we have this culture in Nigeria that one will always ignore the truth once he knows that, yes, that is directly applied to him. But meanwhile, we in the social media and other sector, we are trying to see that such is totally abolished. And regarding your issue of the day, piracy. Piracy is one disease that has affected the economy for a long time. And I'm very happy that the president, not once, not twice, has said he's going to look into that sector and make sure they have eradicated it completely. But meanwhile, piracy cannot just go away by government controlling it alone. We in quote, all the players of the economy must come together and see that that has gone by also, let me say, bringing out some adverts, going to schools, writing, educating children, a lot of pamphlets and other stuff that people will know definitely that this is affecting our economy. That is the better we take it off now, the better to our economy. So thank you very much.
Right,
and once again, I say thank you very much.
Thank you, Musa, for the commendation, of course, your contribution as well. Now, Mark, just like Musa was saying, what ways really can the people in the society contribute their quota in fighting piracy?
I told you earlier on, there need to be sanitization of the orientation of the young people. We need to have more refresher programs to let them understand the gravity of what piracy is. If you have a section of people understanding what this thing is, I tell you, it will be easy to fight it because now they have an orientation that this is criminal. This is a criminal offense. It's actually in the law. If it's implemented and you're caught, you will face the music. Of course, your parents will start drumming it into your ears. Look, piracy is, everybody has gone crazy about anti-piracy now. You have to be very obedient to the rules and regulations. If you're caught, I'm your father, I'm your mother, I will not come to defend you. You will face the music. You know, by the time you see orientations passing across like that, people will begin to understand, look, this thing is a serious issue. But from the way it looks right now, if we're going to fight from the government's angle alone, what about the people involved? You have somebody who is watching television and he sees a movie thriller. And 3 days after, he sees that movie in a traffic situation.
I was stunned when I saw AY's movie.
He went down and, was that not the thriller I saw? And that thriller, very, very catchy and everything. You want to buy. That's it. Now, these guys who hawk these things on the streets as well, of course, they're actually hawking it from a particular source. They didn't just wake up and carry those materials. Someone actually, you have to deal with it from the root. And those who are actually doing it, they have to be checkmated. If you don't checkmate them, how would you deal with it?
So what role should the security operatives across the country play in this? Like you're saying that you watch a movie trailer today, and they're saying it will be showing in the cinemas for a month, and then you go out the next day or the next week, you see the movie being banded in your face. But shouldn't security people take it upon themselves to arrest such vendors?
You know, and the security people as ill-informed as a lot of Nigerians about this matter. Mark just said, taking it to the roots. I want to say, you know, it kills me, you know, to go to Nigerian universities and see rows and rows and rows and rows of photocopying machines, copying books. In universities, copying books, intellectual property, books written by other people. And it's almost like it's officially sanctioned. You know, the lecturers are supposed to be the people who write books, and that the people who are supposed to be telling people that you cannot do what you're doing. But it's almost, there are students who leave universities in Nigeria never buying one book.
Yes,
all they've done is photocopy books, you know. How are you going to have a literary industry? How are you going to have a publishing industry grow? How? That's a huge part of our economy.
Really is facing a lot of challenges.
That's a huge part of our economy flushed down. That should not be allowed to happen in Nigeria. And it's happening openly. It's not as if anybody's pretending.
Nobody sees this as
a crime. As doing some. These people are destroying our industry. And I want to call on all the universities, all the vice chancellors, please stop this today, because you can. You can. There is no justification. Or textbooks are expensive. That's why you must steal somebody's. Food is expensive. Do you ask people to go and steal food to eat? You know, it's wrong because we are destroying ourselves. And the time has come to say enough of this nonsense.
And it seems that COSA wasn't taken seriously on letting music pay, really, until your No Music Day campaign, which many Nigerians had to do without music for a particular period.
Okay, No Music Day comes again. No, but it simply shows that things can change if you have people who have the lever. You know, if you have nothing to die for, you have nothing to live for. Definitely. You know, we're so scared about dying or doing what we ought to do. You know, we have to find the people who have the lever to do this. And I can tell you that this will be a different Nigeria in another 3-4 years because we are doing the right things.
John Bull is joining us from Delta State. Good morning to you, John Bull. Your comment?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, John Bull. We can hear you.
Okay, you see, my contribution to what this piracy of a thing is a big problem. Even like some people will say that look inward. You look at the musicians today. There are some musicians who will sit down, take their time, and write a song. The song will be very good. Put in the market and start selling. Before you know it, another musician will pick that same song, copy it again, turn it around, and begin to sing it. So those things should also be checked. Not only those that business in the market that have the problem. Within themselves also have the problem. After a man has started to struggle, there are some musicians, they don't copy songs. They sat down, they took their time, write their own song. Before you know it, within themselves, somebody will just come among them, sing that same song, turn it around, and begin to make money from it from somewhere else again. It's wrong. All those things will also be looked into. And
not just the market food that does business. That's not the problem. We see that there's a problem. You all can talk about architectural copy buildings, doing different copy from tailoring. It's all piracy. All this should also be. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you very much, Dumbo, for your contribution.
Let me just correct this. Look, if you write a song, you know, someone else can, in fact, sing the same song. If you take a song like No Woman, No Cry, there's so many versions of it.
A lot of covers, yes.
Yeah, you can do a cover of a song as long as you do it through the right process. You know, you can have Victor Laya just did a song
with Two-Face.
Yeah.
Baby Joe.
Baby Joe. You have one version which I like a lot by Lieutenant Shotgun. That's legitimate, right? As long as you give the credit to the person who's done it, and then you pay the royalties you're supposed to pay.
Well, we've had indications or situations really in the country whereby, at least I know of two clearly, where a musical artist will feature a popular person in his music, and then this popular musician will go to another show and sing that song. Is that right?
Without the original artist.
Exactly, without the original artist, posting it as his song, and then you have this unpopular person who owns the song talking that this person is signed, posting my song as is. We know AY.com, it happened before, and then literally another one, can't remember his name. So it's really a big issue, just like Jambua said.
No, when we didn't have a structure, right? We didn't have a database of who owned what song and all that. That would have been a serious problem, right? You know, frankly, if I write a song now, I want as many people as possible to sing my song because that brings income to me. Wherever the song is sung.
You have to seek permission.
Yeah. No, wherever that song is sung, you know, some royalties are paid. It will come back to me as the original creator of the song. Yeah. So I don't want to stop people from singing my song. I want to encourage as many people as possible. It's good for me because the structures are being put in place. Right. When the structures were not there, anybody can sing the song and you never get a shilling. But now it's different.
So it can't happen anyhow.
No, it's different. Yeah.
Okay, so looking forward, piracy, the need to fight it just as the government is fighting corruption on all cylinders.
Yes, of course. I think we've exhausted a whole lot of the ideas that needs to be, done to this particular issue that has become a norm. So until we strike it out, until we make it look like, look, this is not a normal thing anymore. And I think that way things will begin to work out better.
Intellectual terrorism.
No, it's really terrible because you can't bear it. You produce a movie now, for example, you spend so much money and someone is selling it cheap.
Indeed, yeah. Lizzie Anjorin was close to tears last week because we're talking about one thing and then she was saying that you people are talking about this. Why not piracy that is killing us, that we have to use everything we have to even sell a little we can make because we are not making enough. We're not making anything from what we are selling.
Now, fighting it too, I think some of the callers are right. Internally also, you have a music artist, all of them. If they are united, I think this will be curbed immediately. I remember Mr. Tony and several others led a campaign at the National Theatre some years ago during the Yar'Adua administration. I remember vividly well. Now, a lot of these artists complained that some artists were not present at that rally.
Some of them went to meet pirates, like I said earlier.
Some top artists were not there in that rally. Now, I was listening to a CEO who was talking to one of the journalists. He said, well, I'm not trying to hold forth for them. Some of them are not in the country, but some of the artists on that day were not happy. They said, look, if we're going to fight this thing, why is X, Y, Z not here with us? I
organized that rally at the National Theatre.
Before you say anything, apologies, Mr. Okoroji. I will remind you, you say after the call with Mr. Cassidy. Mr. Cassidy from Kutonu. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Cassidy. You're on air now. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good. Yes, from what you are saying about the piracy. The piracy can only solve from the grassroots. From the grassroots, number one, we Nigerians don't supposed to believe in buying foreign designers. We don't supposed to be copying from Italy. We're supposed to build on our country in Nigeria. Just for example, in northern part of Nigeria, they are not used to putting on suits, putting on ties. They always believe in their traditional outfit. But we, in Nigeria, mostly our 80% copy from don't patronize them. We only copy from America, Italy connections. So I think our advice for us to be traditional conscious, to maintain and go along with our own products than importation of foreign designers. I think I stop so far. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kasidi, for your contribution. Another way to look at it is that you should encourage everything Nigerian. Okay, so you wanted to talk about the National Theatre campaign.
Yes, you know, I organized that event when we came together and asked President Yar'Adua at that time to take this matter seriously. It's correct that there were a number of top artists who didn't show up, right? But that didn't stop us.
Definitely.
You know, and it's like the war against corruption. You don't have to have 100% consensus to get things to change. Yeah. There are people who have joined in the battle because they've seen that some people like us didn't stop, and that indeed we are making progress. At the time we started this, there was no licensed, no station in Nigeria was licensed to play music. Not one broadcast station in Nigeria. That has changed.
The No Music Day hits them very hard.
Yeah, no hotel in Nigeria was, if you recall, we went to court against Transcorp Hilton, we went to court against Eco Hotel, we went to court against Sheraton and all that. That also has changed because people see that you are doing what you say you are going to do. You're not stopping halfway, you know. So you don't wait until everybody comes on board, you know, before you do this. You must show leadership. And if you show leadership, people will follow.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony Okoroji of COSON, for your time in the studio with me. And, of course, Mark the Soldier. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Good morning. You can join Mark the Soldier on Radio Continental 102.3. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming into the studio.